Now, if we're going to be talking about which Persona game is the best, we'd have to separate them in so many categories, like best protagonist to best throne, from best storytelling to best ending, and best human-based antagonist to best otherworldly being or god, and of course, best wife. These will drag the video, so I'll split it into a 3 to 4 part video. So first up we got Makoto Yuki or Minato Arisoto. The name depends which you prefer. If you ask me,
Goku fits in best.
Then we got Yu Narukami, which let's be honest is 10 times better than his manga name Soji Sera. And finally, Reina Mamiya / Akira Kurusu, or also known as Joker. Makoto moves in a port town called Iwatodo and attends a school called Gekkoukan High and lives at the dorms for the remaining year. He lost his mom 10 years prior to the year the story is based in, 2009. After departing from the train station, the clock strikes midnight, bringing him to the Dark Hour, a hidden hour also known as the 25th hour, which transforms the world to a different scene and turns anyone inside into coffins. Only those with the potential can leave their coffins, but would be instantly attacked by shadows, then back in reality makes them completely lifeless like a doll. This is later called apathy syndrome, but somehow Makoto made it safely from the station nicely and attends the dorm. After a few days of normal school lives, a massive shadow attacks which chases Makoto to the rooftop, which leads to him awakening his persona, Orpheus, by using a gun-shaped tool called an evoker. The persona then turns into Thanatos, then later Messiah, his third awakening. After awakening to a persona, we find out that his entire dormitory is used to combat shadows and pretend to be a school club called SEAT, which stands for Special Extracurricular Execution Squad. Now, I'd love to continue more into Makoto's life, but I got that planned for a later category, so moving on. Now, Yu Narukami is a different case. Compared to Makoto, after moving from the big city, Yu moves to Yasuinaba in 2011 and stays for next year with his uncle Dojima and daughter Nanako. A murder mystery took place around town, and a rumor of a midnight tunnel that airs at 12 AM on a rainy night and shows you your true soulmate. Yu and his friends quickly find out that the midnight tunnel did not show you your soulmate, but in fact who the next murder victim will be. They also later discovered that they could enter the TV to a different realm which was called the TV world, and that the murderer was throwing people into the TV where later the persona's shadow would make the person say that the shadow and themselves is not one of the same, which would give the shadow its full power and then later kill the victim because they wanted to be the person themselves or they wanted to be the only one around. After recruiting many members into the investigation team, you're finally presented with a choice to figure out who the murderer is. With all the evidence you gathered, and selecting the right choice will affect how the story would lead on from there. Yu's persona is Izanagi, which is one of my favorite personas, then later awakens to Izanagi no Okami. Joker is more unique than the others because he was portrayed probably the first villain protagonist in Persona when the game never even came out. Story starts off with Joker carrying a treasure through a casino and eventually getting caught by the police, and then shows us that he's in an interrogation room and has to explain the entire story of what transpired in the past year, and the game officially starts at April. Instead of like how Yu was from the big city, moving to a small town, it's the opposite now. Joker moves to Tokyo as he was framed with assault against an arrogant drunk man named Shido who was harassing a woman, and Joker only stepped in. Now he has to face probation for a year at Drunken Jai with a man named Sojiro. At his first day he bumped into a vulgar boy named Ryuji. Yeah, Ryuji swears by the way, and he finally got to see the word fans were really waiting for him to say in Strikers.
So shut the f***
Thanks to Ryuji saying some key words to Kamoshida's palace on accident, the Metaverse Navigator reacts to him and sends them to the Metaverse, the cognitive realm where people's cognitions take place in palaces. Yeah, if you didn't get that, basically people's thoughts manifested into really long in-the-butt courses. After awakening to the persona by ripping out a mask that appears on his face, his clothing changes and awakens to Arsene, which later evolves into Sentinel, then into Ryan. But without going into too much detail, Joker makes many friends that can use a persona and forms a group called the Phantom Thieves that steals hearts in criminals' palaces and forces them to confess. So now that I've basically explained every single protagonist, my personal favorite has to be Yu Narukami. Other than the countless Chad Yu memes, everything about him makes him the best protagonist. From how everyone treats him in the game and to how he's one of the best persona users, Yu Narukami doesn't even need a persona. He can use 0 attacks without Izanagi and even electrify his sword. Also, how every female is into him. However, Joker has to do requests for them. And also don't forget that you is the only protagonist to get multiple lovers and not get punished by it at all. Now that we got protagonists out of the way, we can talk about best film. I won't be including Persona 5 Strikers Jails because that's drag. Starting with The Dark Owl. A hidden hour of the day thanks to an explosion in Kirijo Ergo Research Lab spreading 12 shadows into the world, and if you destroy all 12 before it begins. There is a huge tower called Tartarus which has 200 plus floors, which from time to time civilians will get trapped inside and you have to save them before the next full moon battle, or they become the Lost. Next, the TV world which you enter through the TV. If you like yellow aesthetics, then you probably enjoy it. The main cast has to wear glasses to see through the fog inside the world. Every time someone is thrown inside, you have to fight the shadow and save the victim. And then finally, we have the Metaverse, the cognitive world which you enter through the navigation app from the phone. Can either progress through someone's palace or go to Momentous Deaths, which is the Master's Collective Palace under Shibuya. Can only progress different paths after every arc or else path is blocked by a door. Can also do requests from fans side to change someone's heart. The best film definitely has to go to the Metaverse. Not only is it the biggest map with mementos and the infinite palaces you can come across, we can't forget the infamous OST that plays when driving in a railway. That's all I can fit for one video, so in part 2 I'll discuss best storytelling and best ending. This will probably be a 3 to 4 part video, so it would really help if you could smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Also, turn on that notification bell. I'll be posting part 2 later this month or perhaps next month, and I'll be posting other stuff in between. Thanks for watching and peace out.